Going on, my friends? I'm Rick, and this is your seat at the table. And hey, what we're looking at is not City Tech, the box set, 'cause I already did that video, and I wanted to show you. See, I still have the box for it. It's in pretty shabby shape. This actually got a little water damage because, like I said, there was a stage where I was living in my parents' basement and it flooded once or twice. And the reason I didn't have the content in it because it's where I keep all my chits and all my hardware pieces for Battle Force. So as you can see, there's just gobs of them, and then plenty more where I made my own, and the stands that you need to keep these things up. And I think I did a video on these prior when I was doing Battle Force, but I just wanted to show you that I did have the box. It's just that sometimes the boxes don't hold what originally was supposed to be in. Now, what we're looking at here is a little bit more Starfleet Battles. These came with a couple of the package deals, the box sets, and there is a #1 somewhere. I do not know where it is. Once again, these are basically your ship sheets or your control sheets for your vessels. And ideally, when you bought this, you would you should dismantle this, which I was always a big, and such. I would just never do that. I would always take it to a Xerox machine somewhere and get copies made, because it actually says here, purchasers of this game are authorized to produce copies of these SSD sheets for their own private use. Such copies remain under copyright. Reproduction for sale or use for non-purchasers is non-authorized. Yeah, right. Anyway, so here's a monitor, and here's a Federation battle cruiser, the Bismarck subclass. Here's a Klingon F6 battle frigate, Klingon DX advanced cruiser, a Gorn battle destroyer, Hydron caravan tug, a Dromedan desecrator starbase, a Win auxiliary battle cruiser, etc. So they're both sides. So if you look at one side's your control. So here's a Kinsey destroyer. I mean, each side represents a different ship, so there's hundreds of them here. And then this, of course, is the #2, copyright 1984. I would have been a junior in high school that year, or senior, depending on what time of the year it came out. So Orion Light Raider, Orion Drug Raider, Klingon D6 PF Tender, D5 War Cruiser, Romulan Condor Dreadnought, Romulan Skyhawk Destroyer. You can kind of see the vague shapes of what the ship would look like without the artwork and things like that to it. Hydron Lancer Destroyer, Andromeda Cobra Destroyer, etc. So, once again, it's like BattleTech. I have 5 or 6, a half dozen of the books that are control sheets for the mechs and tanks and stuff like that. And once again, I've never dismantled them. I have them. I haven't done videos on them because I don't know how pertinent they are, or how real interest you guys would have for me to do those. If they did do them, they would be very short. The other thing was, when I was doing my Starfleet Battles video, I also pointed out that there's chits, little tokens. If you've never played it, basically there's a huge star map, and I think I have the map somewhere. My problem with my maps is I have stacks of them, and a lot of them are intermingled. Did not do a great job of correlating and compartmentalizing my maps, which is a fault on my own. I mean, right here to the right of my laptop, sitting over here, is a stack of BattleTech maps intermixed with a couple blueprints that you guys have seen, because I've used for backstops for the table, and then some hex maps and some maps for various I think Forgotten Realms and for Middle Earth. So it is what it is. But I do, and ironically, this sack, which I spent a good chunk of yesterday trying to hunt down where these things were, it was sitting right up here off to the left of the computer. You can't see, there's a couple shoe boxes, plastic shoe boxes with stuff in it, and that's basically where they were sitting this whole time. In reality, I ought to get myself a better system for holding these things. I mean, I have a whole number of different things of this nature to so I can put things like that in, and in some cases I've started to do, or I've tried to do just that. But you can see, you know, these here, while they look like BattleTech, and they could double down for Battle Force stuff, this is actually stuff for my Stellar Frontiers tabletop, my Stellar Frontiers game, which really is kind of an amalgamation of all kinds of different game systems meant to be played by yourself. You can play it with others, you can play it with friends, you can play it with strangers, you can play it with neighbors, but at the end of the day, the game was initially designed to play with yourself. And once again, if you haven't seen them, I'm running little tutorials or little bit videos for my channel about the game, because I don't know, I just got a bug on my backside to do it. Anyway, so we go through here. And of course, I got everything but my glasses. My glasses are out in the living room. Not to get them at the video. So here's your Klingon Empire chips. All these represent little starships and various vessels, probes, what have you, right? For the fleets. And here's, of course, the Federation. So we got the Federation in black, and these are Tholians. There's not nearly as many of these, of course, as others, and I think these are Kinsey. Don't quote me on that, but I'm not 100% sure, and I'm not sure who these are. But each one of these represents a different race in the Starfleet universe. These might be Kinsey. The Kinsey are kind of like a feline race, and one of the things that they're notable for is that they use a lot of starfighters, of attack shuttles and things like this. So, you know, anyway, here is your Romulan Navy. You'll notice that the Romulan and Klingon fleets are much bigger, even more bigger than what they gave you for your Federation. I don't know if that's selling or what. So here is, so one of these outfits is the Gorns. I don't remember what. And here's yet another faction. And this is a third faction, right? So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 factions within Star Trek's universe that were competing with each other circa 1970, late 70s, early 80s, when Starfleet battles was a big thing. Of course, the real world franchises for Star Trek has expanded extremely large, and a lot of these races that are not canon back in the day that came through time probably would have been replaced. So instead of having the Kinsey, you might have the Cardassians. Instead of the Ferengi, the Tholians still exist, the Klingons, the Romulans, and of course Federation, and then the Tholians and the Gorns. So the other factions would have been replaced by more modern renditions. So, or the names have changed, however you want to look at it. So that's just what I wanted to share, and tell you guys have a great weekend. Until next time, going on, my friends. This is Rick, and hey, if you like the channel, please hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, tell your buddies.